All right, cool. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Barely Maintaining Local Show. This is Robert. I am Ryan. We'll kind of give you all the Storm, Heartlander, Steamwheeler, as well as some couple other ones, news and game updates that we have seen throughout the weekend. Um, we'll jump right into the Storm, who had a awesome weekend, going
Yeah.
2 of 3, and having quite actually like even just scoring a bunch as well in this weekend. Um, we saw Leaf break the uh, points record for the Storm, and then saw some um, uh, different awards given out this weekend to multiple teams. So, yeah, we'll jump in. First off, we saw the Storm play on Friday against Pensacola, starting off that 3-game series. Friday night, they actually, I don't want to say Storm. It was the Firecrackers that were
Yeah.
in Vibrant this weekend.
Rebrand weekend.
Yeah, against Pensacola Ice Flyers, who are one of the top teams in the SPHL right now.
I
Um,
think heading in, they were number 2
number 2 or number
heading
3,
into the
right?
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they're
Um,
number 3.
yeah. So, the actually this game went really well for the Storm offense. Not so great for the Storm defense, but it didn't matter because the Storm did end up outscoring Pensacola in the first game, 7-5. Um, it was quite the just. I think the Storm got the first 3 on the board to start it out. Was a Toporowski power play goal. 2 minutes and 15 seconds into the first period. Uh, uh, Smirnov, of course, was in there on an assist, and Parody was as well. Who've kind of been some of the assist leaders this year. Uh, Devin Sanders got one, assisted by Leaf Matson, for his 16th assist of the season so far. So, um,
Yeah.
almost double the amount that Nick Parody and actually, yeah, just about if you add up Nick Parody and Savas Smirnov uh, before this, has that amount of assists on his own. So,
I
uh,
think he's what 2 number 2 in assists for the
yeah,
SPHL.
yeah. And probably up there in
Let's
goals
look at
too,
it.
right? I mean, I don't think he's got a ton of goals yet this year, but does have a decent amount.
Yeah, I think Devin Sanders is number 3 in the
Yeah.
league with
Okay.
16. And then Leaf Matson is 3rd in the
Yeah.
league
He's,
with 23 assists.
yeah. So
But he's got 35 points, and he's 2nd in points so far.
yeah.
So,
Johnny Witzke got another one for the Storm, just 13:45 into the first. So they jumped out right away to that 13 or 3-0 lead. Pensacola did respond pretty quickly though after that third goal, scoring 2 to close out the first period. Tyler German and Cam Guadet, I want to say, uh,
yeah.
power play goal, which definitely has been a weakness for the Storm. Those power play transitions, they haven't been able to stop them quite as much. But didn't matter. Second period came around. Devin Sanders scored another goal, and
Yeah.
Jake McDonald added his. Is honestly on a hot streak right now. Kind of his rookie season. It started out a little slow, but now he's figuring it out. And jumping
Yeah.
right in with everybody. Leaf Matson, by the way, was in on both of those assists. So he just added it up
He's on
to
a tear this season.
yes. And then they started out the third the same way. Nick McHugh scored another one. Leaf Matson with an assist. I think Leaf Matson was in on every one other than 2, right? 2 of the goals were not. He was not a part. The other 5 he was. Uh, so He was a part of but when I got to speak with Brian Rothenberger, um, he actually said that, Leaf makes passes that, you would looking at the pass, you're like, "What is he doing?" And then all of a sudden he's just like, "Oh, that's just a crazy play he's about to make," and set somebody else up for. So, making that extra pass and kind of, throwing off the goalies. The Pensacola Ice Flyers did try and make a late comeback. Cooper Jones scoring a shorthanded goal. Uh, Andrew Poulos scored a goal, and Cam Godet scored another goal. But Devin Sanders completed the hat trick on a empty netter with 10 seconds left. He just barely squeaked that hat trick out to just kind of seal the game 7-5 against the um, Ice Flyers. So that was the first game of the weekend. Definitely was a great one. They just came out going crazy, which was just awesome. We love to see it because early in the season we didn't have that spark. It was definitely a lot of slow starts, couldn't get the goals found, just kept going.
Right.
But they finally turned it around quite a bit. Saturday, they faced Pensacola again. I want to say they did lose this one, but and it was 4-1. So Ice Flyers got some revenge back.
Right. Yeah.
Um, Devin Sanders scored his fourth goal of the weekend in this one, which is just crazy on a power play in the third. Um, Also assisted by Leaf Matson. Uh, but
Yeah, they've been a duo this year.
yes, but in the first, the Ice Flyers scored two, and then also closed out the third with a couple empty netters. So, whew, so that closed out the second game of the weekend. I was gonna break down a little bit more of the penalties. Um, I mean, honestly, pretty even. It didn't look like we were in too much penalty trouble. Tripping, delay of game. But I
Right.
will say there was another power play goal in this game as well, which or empty. Oh, I'm sorry, no, we had the power play, so we didn't even let that up. We actually had a shorthanded empty netter against us, and another empty netter. So I mean, not terrible. Uh,
Right.
Luke Lush was in the goal for that one. Uh, 41 of 43 saves. So I mean, he was getting peppered with shots. So I mean,
Right.
that has to go against something there too. Let's see, the outshot us 45-30. Oh, sorry. Outshot us 45-30 in that one. So it's just unfortunately is what it is. You can't win them all in the
Right.
series. And then
Looks like
coming,
it's a good opponent too.
yeah,
Pensacola's
yeah,
a really good team. So
was second, was third,
I,
but the Storm on Sunday responded very heavily, not even
yeah,
letting them get many goals in the game. Uh,
yeah,
the Storm would win 5-1 on Sunday, January 11th. Out shooting them 37-27. Penalties, we had four in the game again. Uh, One of them was a fighting. You just can't stop yawning all of a sudden. Smirnov was involved in a fight late in the first. DePino had a slashing late in the second, and then a couple interferences, cross checking. Um, Devin Sanders would score his sixth goal of the weekend, or fifth goal of the weekend. Um, just what a crazy weekend for him. And then
I know.
Leaf would also get a goal in this one, as well as
Hmm.
being a part of uh, the couple. And Nathan
I
Burke had
think
a goal. He was assist on that one. He was assisted
it's
on
like
that Devin Sanders one. And then,
three three goals Leaf Matson was involved with
yeah, and then Ashton
in
Paul
that
had a
game.
goal as well in the first. Um, so I mean, just playing crazy. Steves was in the goal, 26 for 27 saves. Uh, just a very vocal uh, goalie for sure.
Yeah,
Uh, but
he's really had a decent season
yeah,
far too.
yeah, I would say so. He definitely great between the pipes. You miss him when he's not there. Not that Luke Lush is bad either. I mean, he's been fairly well. The biggest problem is the Storm. Well, from what we've seen so far, they kind of they just they let their goalie out there to dry sometimes.
Yeah,
And it's it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but they definitely got to tighten up on that defense a little bit on those power plays.
right.
And
Yeah.
they just they and there's some games where they get off to a little bit of a slow start where they are making passes to players that aren't there, running into each other.
Mhm.
We've seen, so they're just trying to tighten that up. But when their
Ah,
goals are scoring, they're scoring a lot.
oh yeah. Well, they're but over 500 now.
Yep,
Looks like on the season. After being nearly at the bottom of the league, so they've made a lot of improvements. You can see that the scoring has gone up too, and
they're
not just from.
they're just 3 points behind fourth place now.
Yep, yep,
Uh,
they're right there. So
the renewed Rail
they're I
Yard
think they're
Dogs are at 35. We are at 32.
yeah, and just took a series against the now the number 3 team in the league. So can't complain about that. That's getting 2 out of the 3 games there is
And
good.
and we have a
Um,
weekend against the number one team in the league, Peoria, who has went up there, and that's a
yeah,
big
yep,
rivalry team. We
big
we beat
rivalry.
them. We beat them in the last one we played against them, so they'll want some
Hmm.
revenge there. But it's a good opportunity for us to um, kind of show that we have we have what it takes. It's a
Yeah,
3 game series. It looks like going to be one of them will be at the Mark. The Friday night game will be at the Mark, and then they will go to Peoria for the Saturday Sunday game.
okay,
But some awards were given out to the Storm players this weekend. Um, like I said earlier, Leaf Matson, 179 career points with the Storm. He is now the all-time point leader.
crazy,
This weekend he was before this weekend he was second place. Um,
crazy.
After this weekend he is 7 points ahead of first place. That is crazy. Just
Yeah.
the amount of points he was involved in this weekend. Um, I forgot to add them all up, but I mean, he was a part of 5 goals in the Friday game. I
Hmm.
think he was a part of the goal in the
Or the
the
single
Saturday.
one
So
and
that's
Saturday.
6, and then he had a goal, and then was a part of another one, right, or another 2.
I think 2 others, his name was listed.
So I mean,
Um,
yeah, that's what 5, 6, 7, 8. 8
yeah.
goal part of 8
Well, and
goals.
the guy he passed for first is still on the team too. He's an
Yeah,
active
yeah,
player. So, um, I'm sure they talk about it a little bit. I imagine somewhat in that locker room, but
yeah.
it's cool to see. He's had a phenomenal season. He's what 4 years with the team
Yep,
now, and
this is his 4th season.
um, yeah, so it's cool to see. Cool to see one of these guys make history for the team, and kind of solidify what the Storm is all about over here in the Quad Cities.
Yeah, I would say so. Um, Especially, like, I mean, this team just keeps going. They had, another player called up this weekend as well, and it seems just like obviously, this affects the team. But
Right.
they seem to just keep going. They
Yeah.
especially like this is one of the biggest problems with the defense. You obviously see the team, um, like we've said multiple times, the team on power plays or power play defense or just kind of early in the games not having the communication down. But
Yeah.
it's because we keep losing defensemen. Noah Massey started to kind of figure
Right.
things out, got called up to the Heartlanders. Um,
Yep.
uh, Now we got Jacob Bowl, who's figuring things out, now gets called up to Bloomington Bison, who
Yeah.
that just happened this weekend. So, um, it seems to
Which,
be a
I
lot of our
suppose that's a
defensive
good
men.
problem to have,
Yeah,
but
it seems to be a lot of our defensive men, which is where we're having the problems because it just keeps adding up. I mean, our goal scorers are still, um, at it. Obviously, Leaf Matson being such a crazy uh, right winger with his 23 assists on the year so far, with 12 goals. Devin Sanders being a crazy goal scorer, having
yeah.
16 goals and 12 assists. Nathan Burke, and the list for them just keeps going on and on. Um,
Yeah.
Luckily, you still got
Mm,
Toporowski, Parody on the team, but just after that,
goalkeepers have really started playing a lot better. I know two of the games this past weekend were a lot of scoring.
yeah,
I think for the most part, we've really seen the goalies kinda step it up and mm, make some big plays and everything, but yeah,
yeah. Uh,
tough to find consistency when you got guys being called up all the time, but, that's the life of being in this league,
Yeah, that's
at
the
this level.
unfortunate part of being in such a league where you're kind of cherry picked from, and people
Mhm.
are trying to find out who the next players are.
Yeah,
With that being said, would you like to move on to the Heartlanders and kind of share their
let's do
weekend?
it.
Oh, I do want to
I don't
announce
know if we
too.
really wanna talk about their weekend.
Yeah, Leaf Matson and Devin Sanders were actually named co-players of the week as well. So for the
Okay.
SPHL,
Hey, yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool.
yeah,
Just getting recognized. I mean, they both had a phenomenal weekend.
yeah.
Seemed like if they
It's
weren't the ones scoring, they were somewhat involved with
it
the goals.
literally. I mean, it's hard to say Devin Sanders can be the player of the week, but Leaf can't, right? When Leaf's the one that fed him the puck on almost every one of the goals, so
Yeah.
he's involved
Yeah.
in the same amount of stuff as he is.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
uh, for the Heartlanders, last week they went 1-2 in the weekend. This coming up weekend is the last weekend before All Star break. Um,
Yep.
so there is that. We'll get to see some stuff there. Let me pull up their stuff real quick. Um, but they,
On the road the whole time this weekend too. They were road
yeah,
warriors this weekend.
yes. So they played Toledo on Friday. Toledo is one of the top teams in the league, in the number one team in the division. At
Yeah.
least they were. Let me check the standings real quick. Central, yeah, still the number one team in the division. Um, yeah, oof. uh, the the Heartlanders were able to pull this one out. Um,
Yeah. Can't
it,
believe
it
it either.
this is the frustrating part where you see this happen, where it's
I know.
just a team that like the Toledo should come in and stomp on the Heartlanders, which I hate saying because I want to root for the Heartlanders and I'm a giant fan of them and hope to keep seeing them go forward. But
Yeah.
it is rough to see this. Um, so
In the overall conference, Toledo is 4th,
yep,
and then in the Central Division, they're number 1.
yeah, 20-8, right, or something like that.
20-7
Twenty
with,
and seven.
I think, in 2 overtime losses, OTLs, that's right?
Yep, and then two shootout losses.
Um,
It looks like too. Uh,
yeah.
the Toledo started out with a goal 5:14 into the first period. That would be the only goal for them, though. They
Yeah.
wouldn't you wouldn't see him again on the board. Uh, it was another slow start by the uh, Heartlanders, though. Jackson Nelson would finally score second period, 2 minutes and 25 seconds into it. Kuplianen and Sop would get the assist on that. And then we'd have to wait till 9 minutes into the third period to see a Celtic Jerry Leon goal. 9 minutes
Yeah.
into that third, Liam Coughlin and Thomas Stewart would get the assist on that. Just,
Mhm.
I believe the Jackson Nelson goal in the second period was a power play as well.
Yeah. It looks
Um,
like that was power play. That Iowa was 1 for 3 on power plays that game.
yeah, and the crazy thing too is 1, 2, 3. I mean, the Heartlanders come into this game, they I swear they got to
Yeah.
average like 8 penalties a game. In this one, they only had
Right.
3 to
Yep.
Toledo's 4. So they're just they just come all, but they got outshot 30-20. So
Yeah.
there's like it just is so weird to me that they'll show up for a team like this, but then just the whole first half of the season so far, we haven't seen them show up for some of
Right.
the easy ones.
That's what we even talked about, like, y they've picked up wins against Kansas City too this year, who's, it's a very good team
Yeah,
too at the top, and, um, they managed to do well against them, but, as we saw this weekend, teams that you expect them to go out there and be competitive with and win those games, it seems they just can't pick them up, so I don't know what the problem is there, but
yeah,
and I know when, the time we went and saw them and watching them online, it seems like they have some bad time turnovers half the time,
yeah,
it seems like, and then the goalie's just, put in a bad position, having to make a Superman type save, and, you just can't play the season. You can't play games constantly turning it over in bad spots, and, um, yeah, I don't it's weird 'cause you got playmakers and they make plays, but it just not in the games we expect them to make the plays.
right. Yeah, and it just seems like yeah, they're always even Russo. I think Russo is just how you say his name, but they're William Russo
Mhm.
for the goaltender. I mean, 29 saves on 30 shots is really good. But like you
Yeah,
said, I mean, it's honestly, we don't have the goal scorers for the Heartlanders like we do the Storm, but
yeah,
they do make the same mistakes that the Storm does as well, where like
right.
they just don't have the goal scorers to save themselves from the mistakes that they're making early in the games. They're getting us
Yep,
off to slow starts. They're
yeah,
out of position on defense. They're undisciplined, getting a lot of
mhm,
penalties. The Storm luckily have cleaned that up a little bit, so we,
right,
we we
right,
have seen less of that. But
yeah,
um, it just seems like we're seeing a lot of those issues, and
mhm,
they just don't have the goal scorers to kind of pick themselves back into the pace like the Storm
right,
get to.
yeah. Yeah, it's like if they get behind, it's they can't keep up, it's like
Yeah,
they almost want them to be low scoring affairs, so have a better shot.
right. Moving on to Saturday, we would go to Kalamazoo, to face the Wings. Uh, kind of a toilet bowl game, as you will, as for just the fun terms. These are two teams in the Central that are the bottom. Um,
Yep,
but
I think they're actually the 9 and 10,
yeah, and then I don't even know if
that 6 and the 7, my bad, in the Central.
and
Then in
overall
the
they
overall
are,
conference, yeah, they're 13 and 15 in the
yeah,
overall conference.
yeah. So it just is yeah, they've just been nonstop.
And,
So go ahead.
goes back to, this team expect the Heartlanders to go out there and beat these guys and, get the season
Especially,
rolling, especially after a huge
yeah,
win.
especially on after Friday when you see the win against one of the top teams in the league.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
the 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 Wings would start off the scoring. We'd have a completely scoreless and penalty free first period, which is great news for the Heartlanders, you would think, because like we said,
Right.
they have a lot of those penalties in the beginning, and slow starts,
Yep.
but we wouldn't see a goal till halfway through the second almost. 8:50
Yeah.
into the second period, Ryan Cox would score a goal for the Kings, or the Wings, I'm
Yep.
sorry. Uh, and uh, just it wasn't on a penalty play or anything, but just a minute or so later, there would be a fight. We would see Spencer Kennedy take on the Heartlanders, Cameron Butler, for fighting. So that would be the first penalty
Yeah.
of the game, actually. And then we would see Uh, two more penalties out of the Storm or the Heartlanders. I'm sorry. Uh, for honestly, I'm sorry, three more penalties. The first one was just a high sticking, and then I looked at the 17-13 mark. There might have been like a small maybe fight. I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
It's not called for fighting, but there's a roughing call. There's an elbowing
there was
call, and
three
there's another roughing
three
call.
called there.
That just seems to me like there was this little scuffle. I didn't get to watch this game. I was watching a Bears game and having a minor heart attack during that. So, uh,
Yeah, yeah.
but the Heartlanders would return a goal in the second. Um,
Oh,
1938 into the second period, we would see Thomas Stewart, assisted by Cameron Butler, get a goal. Tie it all up going into the third.
yep.
But less than a minute into the third period, the Wings would score the final goal of the game too.
Yeah.
Uh, by Andre Gantos, I'm gonna say.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and we would see the Heartlanders drop 2-1. Um,
Yep.
they outshot the Wings 35-29. Who was in goal? Let's see. Um, it was Russo in the net again. Um, 93% save percentage. Two
Yeah.
goals against them. 27 saves on the 29 shots or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So just once again, just that slow start and just can't get over the hump.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, we're not showing up against the smaller teams or the lower teams. Keeps happening.
It's good. You think obviously we talked about it, but last week you see Toledo first up, and you think, well, that's a rough start. They pick up the win, and you think, oh well, maybe they
Yeah,
can, pick up at least one more win. And at least drawn with Kalamazoo. I think it's better than dropping both games
yeah.
against them.
We
It's a
I
good
was
opportunity
texting
to
I was
get
texting you
yourself rolling.
on Saturday morning or Friday night after the games, and I was like, both teams won. Like, this is great. Like, this is gonna be a
Yeah.
good weekend of hockey in the area. And then the Storm, I mean, they lost Saturday, but they won Sunday, so I mean, it's still kind of
Right. Right.
good.
I
Um,
expected them to. In all honesty, when you're playing against another top team, I expect them to drop at least one
yeah,
game. But I
especially
was
we're
hoping
in
they would.
they're in a stretch right now where they're playing series, like they're playing 3-game
Yeah.
series against the same team.
Yep.
They're not traveling between teams like they do
Hmm.
sometimes. But like you expect them to drop one as
Yeah.
long as they get they win the series, we're happy with it. This like it's just for the Heartlanders, it's just like we hope to see them turn it on, and then we don't. Nothing happens. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
They got some really good players on the team too. It's just wondering what's going on because, like I said, they managed to go out there and the few wins they've gotten have been against some of the better teams in the league. So
Yeah,
they can compete um with the top talent. They're just not consistent. It just seems like on days you think they'd be good, they kind of fall flat. Or and then the big notice too is just costly turnovers. It just seems like they always give the puck up in an awkward position.
yeah,
Um, also talked about their passing. Sometimes it feels like they're just passing and hoping somebody's there and
yeah.
not actually checking to see if somebody's there.
It seems like they're trying to dump
Um,
it to center ice, and it doesn't seem like anybody's ever there. Which, why are we
yeah,
not pushing that zone too? Like,
right.
somebody should be there and trying to just throw a shot in and try and get it in. But
Yeah,
Sunday, we would see we'd take on the Wings again. We'd stay in Kalamazoo. Um, this was a much faster start for the Wings, unfortunately. 2:24 into the first period, we'd see the first goal. Raymond Bryce would score for the Wings, putting them up to an early 1-0 lead. Um, then just about 5 minutes later, the Wings would get back on the board again. Kyler Wall would score the second goal of the game. Just kind of jumping out to that 2-0 start. Heartlanders just the slow start just continues. But Kumplianen would score 13:04 into the first to kind of cut that lead in half.
Yeah,
And then we'd see us. I mean, second period we wouldn't see
scoreless.
anything. Uh,
No goals in the
two
second period. Although
two
there was a
penalties on the uh the Heartlanders though, which once again is
yeah,
rough.
one was on the goalie for a delay of game. I feel like you don't see that one too often.
Yeah, definitely not. I think that's holding on to the puck, right? Or like
Yeah,
something like that.
I don't
This
know. I've honestly never seen
yeah.
it.
I want to say it
So
has
it's
something to do with like them holding on to the puck and then trying to like pass it or something.
mm,
I'm not 100% sure
okay.
though.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, kind of an odd one. You don't usually see the goalkeeper getting a
yeah.
penalty. So,
Uh,
um,
and then
yeah,
like you said, second period would be quiet for scoring. Third period, the beginning of the third period, had us excited for a second. 23 seconds in, Kumpliana would score another goal to erase the lead for the Wings, tie it all back up. It's a whole brand new game. Uh, and then we'd see 3:39 into the third. Uh, Lescovar would score and put us up.
yeah, you're up 3-2 at that point.
And then the
3 minutes into the third period, you
yeah. Uh then 7:44 into the third period, Alexander Stenson would get a tripping call. Luckily for the Heartlanders, this didn't do anything for them.
right.
So we were good. But
Yeah.
12:25,
Kalamazoo would be 0 for 3 on power plays that night.
yep. Which is a huge win, I would say, for the Heartlanders in the first place there,
Yeah.
because that is a big spot where they've been having
Mhm.
trouble. 12:25 into the third, Colin Sokoman, I want to say, would
Yeah.
score the tying goal for the Wings, tying it all up 3-3. But there's still hope. But 15:10 into the third, Ryan Cox would score another one for the Wings, and that would be the last goal of the game. Something happened at the end of this game as well. Um,
Yeah.
Davis Pennington and Powell Connor uh, were both called for penalties at the 20-minute mark of the third period,
Yeah.
as well as Luke Mobley, Elliot Desenores, and Alexander Stenson for, or no, I'm sorry, just Luke Mobley and Desenores for the Heartlanders. At the 20-minute mark, just roughing, game misconduct, roughing, leaving
Yep.
the bench. So just I didn't see what happened, but that
Right.
just a crazy little moment there. Just
Crazy ending, it sounds like.
yes. Um. So, but once again, we only get one out of the three this weekend.
Yep.
Just,
I mean, and it's good to see them picking up a win because they were on a, what, 8-game losing streak,
yeah.
I believe. Um, and it's once again, it's against a good team, so we know they can pick up these wins. I think it's just they need to be consistent and pick up some more consistency because they got the guys to make the plays, and we've seen it in little spurts throughout the season. So
Yep.
tough weekend, but I think a lot of good stuff at the same time. I think not giving up a whole lot of power play goals. In fact, I don't think they gave up one
Yeah.
for the whole weekend.
And got some power play goals.
Yeah, yeah, I think they had the one they scored was against the
Yep.
Toledo. So a lot of good stuff to build off on. And it's a road weekend for them. They're on the road the whole time. Which traveling, I'm sure it's tough, and that's a lot of. They didn't stay in one place either. They had to go from
Yeah.
Ohio to Michigan, and um, all in one weekend, and keep playing on the road. So
Yep. And
yeah,
tomorrow or today, if you're listening on the podcast, um, Kalamazoo is actually in Coralville. So we'll play them on Wednesday, the 14th. So we have a chance of getting a little bit of a revenge that game there. And start trying to cut away at the deficit of points because
right.
we're actually eight
Yeah,
points behind them.
yeah. We're not. It's not like we're crazy far behind them, and that's after dropping 2 games to them this weekend.
Yeah.
So it's still very doable for us to catch up, and I you have no clue what the rest of the season looks like, but they can at least climb their way up and have a decent finish to the season. So yeah, and then what Friday they play against Toledo again.
Yep. And
Looks like they're
then
home though the whole
yep,
whole weekend.
home on the 16th against Toledo, and then home on the 17th, which me and Robert will be there. Say hi to us. Reach
Yes.
out. Come see the game. We need the fans there
Yeah.
too. Um,
Yeah.
we're looking to get some cool content there. Dash's 5th birthday party. So we'll
Yeah.
get
It's
to
gonna
see
be a fun
that
one.
as well. Um, but yeah, it'll be cool. Hopefully, we get to see um, them. I mean, I would love to see them at least get one of the Toledo games, and then
Yeah.
we need the Kalamazoo game as well.
Would love. Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
start
at this
taking away
point
some
it's
points,
got to take that one. Need it.
and then the All-Star break will be after that weekend. I believe the ACHL All-Star game is on the 19th in Austin, Texas. I want to say,
Yeah.
down in Texas, but
Big news for the Heartlanders, right?
yeah, David Fine, friend of the show, just is he was announced as an all-star announcer, so he will be a part of the broadcast. Um, he does a great job. Uh,
He does.
he's very fun to listen to.
Hmm.
Even in some of these games where unfortunately the Heartlanders are losing by a decent amount, or on that 8
Yeah.
game streak of losing, David
Yep.
makes it a lot of fun still to listen to, and still is very, um, very much so catches your attention. So,
Yeah.
very cool there. But yeah, it'll be. I know I'm gonna be tuning into that game. I'm gonna be having that
Oh yeah.
on, and then the championship game for the
Hmm.
Indiana Hoosiers and Miami game. It kind of split screen there.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
um, but yeah, other than that, we had a just a quick Wheeler note. They signed Judd Roberts, quarterback from Graceland University. He was at the tryouts for the Steamwheelers. Looked pretty good, strong arm.
Yeah.
They need some depth there, so it was a good piece to add. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens in training camp. So, some good moves there, but overall, I mean, the Heartlanders broke the streak of losing. I'm happy about that.
Yes.
Unfortunate they lost at the weekend, so to say,
Yeah.
but we broke the streak. That's the first step. And then the
Yeah.
Storm had a good
Love to
weekend.
see him
So
string some more.
yeah, the Storm had a good weekend. So we're happy about that as
Yes.
well. So um, just keep
Yeah.
grinding away at these
We're
teams.
keeping up on that IFL season for the Steamwheelers. So
Yeah, just right around the corner, man.
yeah, March.
Yeah,
But we're already halfway mark, basically, or
yeah.
a little over the halfway mark, like
Training camp, I
January
want to say,
already.
is the
So
last week of February, and then they've got like a week in between, and then it started season. So it's gonna be
yeah,
pretty crazy turnaround here.
yep, gonna be here before we know it.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, catch us at the Heartlanders and the Extreme Arena on Saturday the 17th. Um, come say hi to us. We'll be up in the media and walking around and kind of getting pictures and stuff. So say hi to us. But other than that, we'll check out. Be here back here later in the week to talk about probably the Kalamazoo game, and then kind of give a forecast in the weekend and how we break down those games and see who, like, what we think will happen in those. So, thank you guys for listening and watching. Appreciate you. Um, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and do all the things. Helps us out. Then we can just keep having fun and sharing the local